All right, you guys. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be discussing Batman Superman comic. The Hunt is what I'm gonna call it, but it's full title. The Hunt for the Hunt begins for the infected. Sorry. Essentially, a story that created by Joshua Williamson, and I have to say it is a really good story. Currently, to my knowledge, I think it's only 2 issues, or at least at the making of this video, it's only two. And I will be covering the second one along with, of course, I'm still covering Leviathan, which will probably be one of the next videos outside of another manga chapter. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, so on to this story. Now, the reason why this story is actually really impressive is because the Batman, like everything that's been going on in DC, has been branching off of the fact of Dark Knight's Metal. Like Dark Knight's Metal was an event that took place that was like not really took place, but that was meant to go far beyond just the context of the story, which is why I love everything so much. So we started off with essentially Superman basically gets this call from Batman while he's in the middle of talking with like Jimmy Olsen and all the other reporters from the Daily Planet. Clark Kent personality persona thing. He has going on. So of course, being the suit like Superman, how he usually is, he decides, okay, yeah, I got it, and he sneaks away. Which to me is always the thing that I always say. Like, I never understand how do these people not put two and two together. But hey, comic books, gotta love it for what it is. But bottom line is, after he gets the call from Batman, he immediately takes off while everyone is standing there too. Which take it with a grain of salt. But we come to find out that this is basically just basically it's just a recap, a very quick recap on what really happened. The Superman and stuff that we're talking about was actually the Superman from the Batman Who Laughs Dark Universe, where basically, like I said, Batman was infected with the Joker toxin, or a more lethal strain than the usual one that was implanted when Batman of the Dark Multiverse finally snapped and killed the Joker. He actually had Joker toxins that was stronger and different than the one that he normally uses, tucked away in his heart for just the occasion, for just when he dies. So now, when it gets to recap, like I said, it's pretty basic. It only just kind of shows just how deranged and twisted he is, like showing how literally while his world was being destroyed, he was just laughing and not caring about anything that was going on. He was just having the time of his life after killing his friends and seeing the world literally being destroyed around him. So after that we immediately pick up on the normal multiverse, the universe that we all know and love. And essentially what's going on, you have Gordon and Batman sitting on the rooftop talking. And essentially what's going on is a kid by the name of Danny was taken. Now, as they're sitting there trying to piece clues together, they kind of go back and forth. And the first suspect that they bring up is, could it be like the Batman Who Laughs? You know what I'm saying? Is this another one of his schemes? Like, what's going on? What's the whole purpose in kidnapping these kids and all that stuff? And they kind of just go through a brief overview of like the situation that's going on and everything that's been happening. And Gordon, makes a reference like, yeah, I spent a lot of time with this guy. You don't need to really recap me on how he is or what he does. And it turns out Batman, of course, is talking to Superman, who at the time kind of flew through and basically defeated Killer Croc and all the stuff and took him back to Arkham and came back. Now, when he does that, like I said, Superman lands and we actually get the comment by Gordon saying like, yeah, this kid was taken by Danny, and it was stated, the kid Danny was taken, and witnesses basically say that it was Superman who took it. Now, you really need to keep that in mind. Like, keep that in mind for the next video. The fact that they said Superman took him, So at first, it goes down, and now they're kind of questioning, like, okay, well, is it something like imposter took him, or like, what did they, why would someone say that Superman took him? Everyone knows Superman, everyone loves Superman. So they're kind of sitting there debating this topic, and they all say that the first step that they should do is try the Batman Who Laughs area, his hidden area that he took Gordon to in the Batman issues. And of course, like usual, after they got all the information they need, their first lead. Batman, of course, does his little takeoff thing, and Superman actually stays behind. And Gordon even, makes a little joke about it, like, hey, I figured you would have left the same way he does. And, Superman just simply says, like, yeah, no, that's not my thing. But don't worry, Commissioner, we will find and save Danny, of course. But as Superman is taking off to catch up to Batman, Gordon, as he's shutting off the light and whatnot, he does this little snicker, like, heh, and it kind of fades to black and just shows simply like his face as he does it. And that to me was so weird. I was like, oh man, like what in the world happened to Commissioner Gordon? And, that's kind of foreshadowed by the fact, like I said, just before he said he spent a lot of time because, like I said, he was captured by the Batman who left. So now we got to figure out, like, what happened to Gordon. Like, so that is kind of a little side story that's been going on. Now, as that's been happening, like I said, when Batman catches up to Superman catches up to Batman, they've been talking this entire time, and they've been trying to actually figure out, like, or Batman's really questioning, I should say, Superman, and he's like, what would you do if I turned out to be like the Batman who left? Like, would you stop me? What are your means? What would happen? And Superman, being the same person he is, saying like, no, we will find a way. There wouldn't need to be a mean for basically execution or really harsh punishment. And as they're discovering this, when they get to this area where they believe the Batman Who Laughs secret lair is, it turns out that it's actually the same spot, the same alleyway where Batman's parents died. So as the two sit there and discuss their, Batman, of course, has this little trauma moment, but he basically just pushes through and tells Superman, like, hey, do it. Don't worry about me. We need to, we need to get through this and figure out what's going on. So, of course, Superman just digs a hole right through, and they all jump into the cave. And what we see as they enter the cave is 6 batarangs. Now, as you see in the later chapter, they also bring up the fact that this is what the whole chapter is about. It's about 6 infected. Like, who are the 6? Like, who are the people that the Batman Who Laughs are trying to infect? Which is the subplot and the main reason for why Batman immediately thought that Danny could have been taken by the Batman Who Laughs. So the reason why that's impressive is because, like I said, the fact that there are 6 of them, and they each seem to have their own little markings on them with the Justice League symbols on them, like the main members, you know what I'm saying? Such as Superman, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, stuff like that. So it has these core members, and like I said, but Superman puts it together like they see the chessboard, and it's a chessboard that's at a draw. So Superman, of course, says, okay, well, let's make a move that Batman Who Laughs wouldn't. And when he moves one of the chess pieces, pops up the entirety of the Justice League roster, including some that you don't know, like not really don't know, but aren't really that relevant anymore. Like you have like Supergirl, Hawkman, Martian Manhunter, all that stuff. Like just the entirety of the Justice League roster, from the big names like Wonder Woman stuff, Green Lantern, to even some of the Teen Titans, the Titans, the Titans who, Wally West, Nightwing, and all them. Basically, the people who were too old to be called teens anymore, but still weren't really members of the Justice League because they didn't want to stand for what the Justice League stood for, so they created the Titans. And that is interesting because now the question is, like, how many of these people are infected? Like, how many have the actual Batman Who Laughs got to yet? And that is when all of a sudden a random Robin jumps down. Now, if you don't remember, the Robins are these really mutated looking creatures that the Batman Who Laughs and Dark Knight's Metal used to carry around basically like dogs on a leash. And to me, it was kind of weird because we all thought at first like the Batman Who Laughs were nothing more than literally they were just Robins from the Dark Multiverse. You know what I'm saying? That Batman took over. Batman Who Laughs took over, infected, and basically created as his Dark Robins, or just these. Oh my goodness, these monsters. Like that's all I can say. Like that's really all I can say. But the thing about it is, like I said, he cowers and sits behind everyone. And the biggest thing about it is, like I said, as he cowers, at first they're thinking that it's Danny, and Superman's like, we'll take you home. But no, he says, no, you don't remember me. I am Billy Batson. And he says, Shazam. And voila, now you have the Shazam who laughed. And the final words of the chapter is literally like, yeah, Superman, I've always wondered if I could beat you in a fight. And to me, that was like, holy crap, because Shazam really hasn't done anything or really been involved too much since the New 52. Now, I know that he does have his Shazam have his own solo comic going on, but I'm not gonna lie, I haven't really kept up with it. I read, I think, the first few, but I just wasn't really a fan of it. He has stuff like the Shazam family and stuff going on, but like I said, I just wasn't really too big on it. Didn't really watch it, and neither was everyone else. It's kind of reason. So now Shazam Who Laughs comes in, and it is the coolest thing ever. And I can't wait to tell you guys about the second issue that comes after this. All right, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, I will be still continuing the Event Leviathan story. I cannot talk today. That I had previously. So I will be doing that along with, of course, still sticking with my manga stuff, such as Seven Deadly Sins, My Academia. And I want to start getting into Black Clover too, because I have been reading the manga since chapter 1, so I do want to come back to that. But before I actually do a Black Clover video, like a chapter review, there's something I want to do right before then. I think you guys would be really interested in. So like and subscribe if you're really interested to see the video that I have coming up for that. And until next time, you guys, I appreciate any and all support, and I'll see you. Peace.